How do? So, I am here at the Pentecostal church in Daniels, Maryland. And as you can see, unfortunately, it has been absolutely covered in graffiti multiple times. So, all apologies if you happen to spot any profanities. Whoa, that is creepy. Look all the way at the top there. It's a good view. As I've said, the last video, hopefully these post in order, but took a short video on my way here going through the train tunnel, B&O tunnel. So I'll tell you a little more about Daniels. Up, yep, there's something kind of lewd. Jeez, these effing kids. You know, so hey, by the way, when I was a teen, I thought I was cool, right? And I for a bit, just for a bit, got into graffiti or writing or tagging, right? But the whole point back then, to show off your stuff and how cool you were and how daring you were, was to get to really hard to reach places, really high places, places behind security, places you had to jump electric fences, stuff like that, you know, off the metro subway in Washington, so on and so forth, right? The kids today, right? The kids today have no nerve and no cojones. Let me just put it that way. They're getting up so their work can be seen, right, by a handful of hikers. Real cool, guys, real tough. Anyways, so I was trying to look up exactly when this church was built, and that there must be a date for it, but after a couple searches I couldn't find it. Judging by the looks of things, it's not terribly old. You know, I'd say early to mid 20th century. Now, there is another church back here, or some bare ruins of which, and I've been to, and I'm gonna go look for it to see if I can find them again. It's back in the woods a little bit more. But I mean, you know, you can see the brick and you can see the cinder blocks, and you know, it's certainly not new, but it's not ancient and probably barely historic, if that. Now this brick here is quite a bit older, and it's interesting. It's I think it's cinder, but it's hard to say. Yeah, this is cinder block I'm walking on. But you can tell by the color and the residue and the mold and everything that's grown over it. This has been here for some time. The church may have been rebuilt at some point, but it's just a darn shame about all this graffiti. You know what? People that even some good Samaritans at one point. Look, I can't make this out. I think it's some kind of tub. As you can see, even repainted some of it, as you can see here, and the kids just came and painted right over it again. I mean, you can tell this stuff here is pretty fresh, and I don't mean fresh in a good way, I mean in a lame way. Youth today is just pathetic. I'm sorry, the youth today is just pathetic, without a clue, without a cause. It's a sad and sorry state. Anyways, so this is a decent shot of what remains. So the mill town of Daniels was established quite long ago. The older church I mentioned was late 19th century. That was built in, I think, 1879. I can't even remember the name exactly. It was the Casca Church, Catholic Church, something like that. But the mill town of Daniels goes back quite a ways. It was established in the middle to earlier 19th century. And as many places around this area are, such as Ellicott City was founded on mills and you know, communities that were that ran literally off the power of the river, which you might be able to hear. It's just down there. So, and it turns out, you know, I always talk about the cotton and textile mill owners up in the north, right? And those bad people that profited off slave labor. Actually, Daniels, Maryland, included formerly known as Elysville, okay? And the original guy who set up the first mill, Eli, he built a cotton mill, as luck would have it. The mill changed ownership a number of times, and but unlike the cotton that was being sold off to London primarily, interestingly enough, as far as local history goes, the cotton that was produced at the mills down here in Daniels, Maryland, now known as Daniels, Maryland, were actually used to produce canvas broadcloth for sailing ships that had their use along the Chesapeake Bay. So that's kind of cool. So, give you a quick shot of the river, and we'll finish up. These are some old abutments from an old bridge, as you can see. Now, see, that took a little bit of daring. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little graffiti at the bottom of them. And off in the distance, I don't know if I can give you a better shot. You can see the Daniels Dam. So a little more local history for folks. Probably not that much interest to folks who live outside of Maryland, but I think it's really interesting. I think it's interesting to know the history of where you live. And so again, a lot of parallels with Ellicott City, you know, old mills that go back, you know, nearly 2 centuries and sometimes a little bit more. All pretty much gaining their power from this Patapsco River that we're looking at right now. Hey, got a red bud. And today this area is primarily used, I believe some businesses in this area still derive their power from the dam here. But most people that come down to this area come to go fishing. It's a pretty good fishing spot as far as I can surmise. And you got a few people that just like to go hiking, and even still some fewer people that like to get into the history and go hunting for the ruins of the former towns that lived here. So I'm gonna cut it off here, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully I'll find that other church. Later.